Welcome to Relation Tales. Please like this video and subscribe Relation Tales. Life can be unpredictable, and those who stayed in touch with me know that well. I appreciate all your love, but I don't have enough time to return it. I've changed with the seasons, and now there's no time left for you to wonder why. Time has run out, and I have none left for you. Imagine a typical family. I'm Ethan Cross, a 45-year-old dad with a receding hairline. I'm in decent shape, though I could lose 10 pounds. I prefer contacts over glasses and don't need reading glasses yet. My wife, Samantha, is also 45. She has a slight tummy and a nice, curvy figure, which I like. She's an average-looking woman who wears glasses and prefers to be called Samantha. Our daughter, Lily, is 21, a smart college senior who has gained some weight since her high school volleyball days. She's very independent and outspoken about women's rights, but still depends on us. I'm the only one working, and money is tight. To keep Lily from having student debt, she lives at home. This doesn't stop Samantha and Lily from enjoying nice things, though. I drive an old F-150, while they have luxury cars. Our house has little equity left due to home equity loans for their lifestyle. We live in a typical suburban neighborhood with occasional block parties. We're not close to our neighbors, except for the family next door, whose daughter Molly is Lily's best friend. After Lily started college, I felt a deep sense of loss. We had spent so much time together, and now there was an empty space. Even my volunteer work didn't fill the void. One night, I confronted Samantha about it. "Are you happy?" I asked. "Happy with what?" She replied, seemingly confused. "With your life. You've pulled away from me and lost your spark." "I miss the time we used to spend with Lily. I guess I'm bored." "How about us? Is there something I'm doing or not doing for you?" Samantha assured me. "We're fine. I have no complaints. Why all the questions? I just want you to be happy. Maybe you could see a counselor to help you find balance and improve your mood." She pondered for a moment. "I'll think about it," she said, and I let the subject drop. 2 weeks later, Samantha started weekly sessions with a life coach. You might think I hoped this would reignite our intimacy, but no, we maintained our usual twice-a-week schedule. Are we normal? I have no idea. I've never discussed my sex life with anyone, nor do I pry into my friends' intimate details. Our neighbors to the south, David and Lisa, are in their 60s. David isn't very handy and Lisa loves to bake, which has added a few extra pounds to my waistline. One day, while fixing David's sauna pump, I overheard a conversation. They were talking about our sliding patio door making that scratching noise again. Unless Samantha is back from her mother's, it must be Lily. They mentioned they hadn't seen him in a while. Sitting in the backyard gazebo, I overheard Lily talking to Samantha. "He's inside somewhere. His car is still here," Lily said. My blood boiled when I heard her say, "God, Mom, you're so outdated. Give Jake a try. Molly says he's a wild one." Maybe this is what you need to spice things up in the bedroom. You've been complaining to our daughter about our love life. That's just not right, I thought, seething with anger. The next pause was due to my boiling rage. These two were plotting to end my marriage. What did I do to deserve this? Okay, well, let me know. Love you too. Bye-bye, Lily concluded. My anger surged. I didn't injure myself while fixing that frustrating pump, but I was fuming. The entire week at home was miserable. I went out of my way to irritate Samantha and Lily, and I spent most of the week in my office or out in the garage sharpening and cleaning my power tools. I didn't cancel my hunting trip, though. I had someone keep an eye on Samantha's activities. Seeing pictures of Lily, Tom, and a skinny guy entering the house around noon on Saturday wasn't a good sign. Lily and Tom left around 2, and the skinny guy left at 4. When I returned late Sunday, Samantha tried to be affectionate, but I wasn't having it. While it didn't confirm anything, I noticed Samantha was sitting strangely, with her legs crossed and leaning left more than usual. She seemed a bit uncomfortable. Later in the kitchen, Lily sealed their fate by playfully slapping Samantha's behind, and they both giggled with fake coughs. I felt a weight on my chest, worried that the people I went hunting with might have exposed me to something. I decided to sleep on the living room couch to avoid Samantha. In the morning, I told Samantha I was going to the doctor, claiming I had trouble breathing. My boss had no issue with me taking the day off. My plan was to fake a COVID diagnosis, giving me time to move forward with my exit strategy. With accumulated sick leave and vacation time, I could stretch it out until our traditional Christmas Eve dinner. A COVID diagnosis usually keeps people at bay. Did I actually have COVID? I wasn't sure what to do. I was fully vaccinated and felt healthy, but my heart was broken, and I wanted to get away from 4 people. Even though my lungs were fine, I checked into an extended stay hotel. I wasn't going to live cheaply. Samantha seemed relieved when I told her I'd be out of quarantine in time for Christmas Eve. She and Lily called me twice a day, but I avoided revealing my plans. I was polite, but pretended to be tired to end the calls. I spent my time planning revenge and making preparation, like updating wills, beneficiaries, and emergency contacts. Apartment hunting was challenging, and it emphasized my decision to divorce Samantha and push Lily to be independent. When consumed by anger, all sorts of thoughts cross your mind, many of which could land you in jail, which didn't align with my future plans. The idea of hiring an escort to set up Tom came from a news story about a company using similar tactics to eliminate unwanted employees. It was a double-edged sword that would inevitably hurt Lily, but I believe she deserved it. Our artificial Christmas tree glowed with blinking red, white, and green lights, and the pine cones filled the room with a holiday scent. We gathered around the dining room table for our Christmas Eve tradition, one we've upheld for 23 years, the first 2 without Lily. Samantha had prepared a meal that now sat before us. Normally, we'd offer a short prayer of thanks, but not tonight. I stood up to speak, and it wasn't going to be a cheerful toast. "Tom, how's Emily?" I asked, watching his face drain of color. Lily turned her curious gaze toward him. Lily and Tom had been together since high school, and it seemed like they'd be together forever, but that was about to change. Tom stammered, pretending not to know Emily. I pushed further, describing the raven-haired beauty with ruby lips he was with last Sunday night. Tom was stunned, caught like a deer in headlights, his denial unconvincing. I played an audio clip from my phone, where a voice could be heard saying, "Okay, Emily, you're awesome. Don't stop. God, I'm coming again." It was unmistakably Tom's voice. Lily exploded in anger, accusing him of betrayal and demanding he leave. Before Tom could stand, I forced him back into his chair. Samantha and I held Lily back from attacking him. I told Samantha to take Lily into the other room to calm her down, explaining that Tom and I needed to talk. Samantha escorted Lily out, but not quietly, as Lily's profanities echoed off the walls. It took just a few minutes to lay out the situation to Tom. He was to warn Jake to stay far away from me, or Jake would regret it deeply. Tom understood his position and limited options. He agreed to do one last thing for me. I called Samantha and Lily back into the kitchen. They looked shocked and tearful. "Let me explain how I got that recording," I said. "Tom, her name isn't Emily. I don't know her real name. She's an escort I hired to seduce you and record the encounter. There's also a video if you'd like to see it." "Daddy, what the hell? You hired her?" Lily shouted. "I did, sweetie. How does it feel to be betrayed, to be stabbed in the back?" I admitted. Samantha made a small noise, and Lily's eyes briefly flicked toward and away from her mother. Both were in tears. "Tom, do you have something to say?" I asked, turning on the video mode of my phone. Tom stood, took the folder in front of him, and addressed Samantha. "Samantha Cross, you've been served," he said, handing her the folder. Samantha looked like she might faint or vomit. The pine cone scent couldn't mask the impact of Tom handing Samantha divorce papers. While Lily and Samantha consoled each other in the master bedroom, I took charge outside. Lily's early graduation gift was loaded onto a carrier and driven away. Everything from her car was left in a trash bag on the front porch. Samantha's BMW followed, but her belongings were transferred to a 23-year-old sedan, symbolizing our 23 years of marriage. My lawyer reminded me that I had to provide transportation for Samantha. With our credit cards paid off and canceled, I canceled both of Lily's cards as well since I was the co-signer. I took another shot of bourbon. I canceled their cell phones too and gave Samantha a basic phone with limited talk time and text messages. Lily received no such consideration. They both kept their fancy iPhones. In the garage, I hammered a for sale sign into the front yard. I couldn't actually sell the house yet since Samantha's name was on the title, but I wanted her to know what our future held. Instead of listening to the Christmas music playing in the living room by the tree, I retreated to the basement. Sitting in the dark was comforting, especially when I heard the commotion above as they realized none of their possessions were working. They called me some less than Christian names, mild compared to what I had been shouting in my empty hotel room while preparing for this day. "Ethan, we need to talk," they said. They speculated that I might have gone for a walk, seeing my car still at home, but not in its usual spot. They saw an unfamiliar car parked outside and wondered if I had taken it. With their phones not working and credit cards canceled, they decided to see if Lisa would let them use her phone. They felt calm again, but it was a mistake. I locked the entry doors, leaving them outside without working phones or credit cards. Both had left their purses inside, so they had no identification. I felt no remorse shredding their driver's licenses. It was petty, but it would cause them a lot of trouble. Refilling my shot glass, I turned on the TV and watched a cheesy feel-good special for a few minutes. Our situation couldn't be farther from the heartwarming story on screen. Sitting in silence seemed like a better choice. There was a commotion at the front door when Samantha and Lily returned. It was then that Lily, whom I no longer claimed as my own, realized what was in the trash bag on the porch. "Oh my God, this is everything I had in my car. Daddy got rid of my car," Lily shrieked. "Samantha wasn't buying it. He wouldn't do that. It's just not something he would do." "Well, Mom, maybe the reason your car is missing is that he sold it too." "I'll be mad if he did. I love that car," Lily yelled, her voice trembling with fury. The doorbell rang incessantly, interrupting their heated exchange. "Ethan, open this door right now. It's freezing out here." Samantha's voice cut through the noise. I shouted back, "Well, Samantha, the keys to your new car are in the ignition. That orange and green Malibu parked out front is your new ride. All your belongings from the old car are in there too. I heard the heater takes a while to warm up, but it has a full tank of gas. Maybe you can go stay with Jake. I'm sure he still has a thing for you." There was a moment of stunned silence before Samantha's voice wavered. "Ethan, please let me explain." I could hear her desperation. "Samantha, I've heard enough. Merry Christmas." "Now leave and take your traitorous daughter with you," I replied coldly. The old Malibu roared to life, its muffler sounding like it was about to fall off. It didn't surprise me. The guy practically gave it to me to get it off his hands. Without any further drama, the two traitors drove away from the house. As I watched them leave, a small part of me hoped the old car's muffler wouldn't give them any trouble. But who was I kidding? An hour later, my phone lit up with my father-in-law's number. We never got along well, so I let it go to voicemail. "Hey, Ethan, I've got a couple of upset women here. Thought you might shed some light on the situation. Call me back. By the way, Merry Christmas," his message said. I muted my phone and sipped some spiked eggnog, slowly calming down from my adrenaline rush. The blinking lights of the fake tree lulled me to sleep. Christmas morning was cold and bright. The dishes from the previous night still cluttered the dining table, but the microwave did a good job reheating my ham and cheesy potatoes. Gifts lay unopened under the tree, meant for an after-dinner celebration that would never happen. Had anyone noticed I hadn't given or opened a single gift? I doubted it. Instead, I gathered my most cherished belongings, leaving any family photos scattered on the ground. It took Samantha a few days to track me down at the hotel. The sun had set and a bitter breeze blew outside. When I answered the door, leaving the latch on, I half expected a sales pitch, but it was Samantha, pale-faced and without her usual makeup. "Ethan, please don't close the door," she pleaded. "What do you want, Samantha?" I replied coldly. "Can I come in? I need to explain," she begged. "No," I responded firmly. "Please, Ethan, your neighbors don't need to hear this," she continued, her voice cracking. "What part of no don't you understand? I'd be happy to explain it to you." "Samantha," I snapped. "Okay, let me start by saying I'm sorry. I can't explain my action," she began. "What actions are you talking about, Samantha?" I pressed. "Ethan, not out here." "Let me come in and talk about it," she urged softly. "You had something with Jake? Well, isn't that just perfect?" I reacted. Her eyes widened. "You didn't know?" she asked, shocked. "I suspected, but now it's confirmed. Actions have consequences, Samantha." "Wait, you were going to divorce me without any proof?" I asked, incredulous. "I guessed right, didn't I? Have you found an attorney yet?" I continued. "I'm working on it, but we don't need a divorce. I'll do anything to save our marriage," she pleaded. "It's too late for that. Why didn't you decide to do anything to save our marriage a month ago?" "It's because you're selfish and think you're above consequences." "Did you tell me immediately? A day later? A week later? How many others have there been?" I demanded. Samantha recoiled at the venom in my voice. "That was the only time you have to believe me. One stupid decision shouldn't doom our marriage," she cried. "Which stupid decision? I count many. Planning to cheat might get you a reprieve. Cheating is a deal breaker. Hiding your cheating ensured no chance of reconciliation. Worst of all, you involved our daughter. I want nothing to do with her anymore. This is all on you." If you had kept your bedroom matters private, she would never have been involved. I hate you. I spat. Some neighbors were watching the drama unfold. Ethan, I said, I'm sorry. How can I make this up to you? Samantha asked desperately. You can't. I hope I'm better off without you. Maybe I will be, maybe I won't, but it's on my terms. Divorce your cheating self and move on. Understand, I retorted. Please, Ethan, I know you're hurting and angry, but don't do anything for a couple of weeks. It was just one afternoon. What can I do to convince you? She pleaded. Just leave and never bother me again. Now, if you'll excuse me, halftime is over, and the bowl game is starting again. Thanks for stopping by. Not, I said, closing the door. Samantha knocked and begged softly, but my noise-canceling headphones drowned her out. I don't know how long she knocked, but she was gone by morning. 11 months later, I sat in my one-bedroom apartment, continuing the Christmas Eve tradition alone by choice. I cooked a simple meal myself after learning how to cook. People say you get stabbed in the back, but it really shatters your heart, ego, and confidence. My self-respect stayed intact. Many nights I wondered if I overreacted. Not once did I agree with that thought. I became disposable. So I left. Case closed. My time in the limbo of divorce left me feeling defeated. I was often irritable, and my boss had to reprimand me for snapping at coworkers. As time passed, I withdrew from social life and became a recluse. My coworkers learned to keep their distance, and I focused on doing my job well. I skipped company parties. Friends attempted to set me up on dates, but I turned them down one by one, and eventually they stopped calling. My self-pity seemed never-ending. I took up running, and the sight of my earbuds discouraged people from approaching me. Between my new hobby and cooking for myself, I found a semblance of peace. After the divorce, I realized I needed to put on some weight since none of my old clothes fit me anymore. Occasionally, a coworker would compliment my appearance, but it rarely led to anything more. The divorce dragged on for 9 months, and our house sold quickly. Instead of monthly support, Samantha got a significant portion of the sale proceeds. Lily and Tom went their separate ways, with Tom blaming me for the Emily setup. It's always someone else's fault with people like him. I wasn't there with Emily. He was. He fell for it, just like most men his age would. Lily left me angry voicemails, but I never returned her calls. Maybe someday I would, but I wasn't betting on it. I didn't receive an invitation to her graduation, nor did I attend. The divorce hit Samantha hard since she hadn't worked full-time since we got married. My lawyer managed to drag out the financial negotiations, ensuring she received as little as possible. Once the house sold, I paid off the maintenance arrears the court ruled she was owed. Her comfortable lifestyle was gone, and so was mine. During some of our lawyer meetings, Samantha tried to convince me she was sorry and foolish, but I remained cold, which led to a few tears. Hate is a strong emotion, and I couldn't control mine. A year later, I kept up the Christmas Eve tradition in my apartment. Chloe, a friend who'd been through a similar situation, joined me. We weren't romantically involved. I wasn't ready for that. After dinner, we danced in the living room. The closeness made me miss the warmth of a woman's touch. But after 10 songs, Chloe wiped away a tear and left. We were both too broken. Lily's voicemails became more apologetic, but I never called her back. My mother mentioned that Samantha had moved in with someone new. Surprisingly, I felt indifferent. Slowly, I started making small talk with people again. Former coworkers avoided me, and new ones found me odd. Making friends was tough, but I managed to connect with Chloe, and we stayed friends. In late January, I received a letter from Lily. I debated opening it, but curiosity won. Inside was a short note and a selfie. Daddy, I'm sorry for what I did to you. As you can see in the picture, I'm pregnant. I was wondering if you could find it in your heart to include a grandchild in your life. If not, I understand. Love, Lily. The return address was a few counties over, and there was no mention of a husband. I felt torn. I resented what she had done, but I had always wanted grandchildren. It took me a few weeks to respond. Meanwhile, Chloe and I parted ways. We both knew we were just leaning on each other. She decided to move far away and start fresh with a few lingering hugs. She left my life. To keep my sanity, I took up pickleball at the rec center. It's like tennis, but with different rules. Eventually, I played with people of similar skill levels, which felt like being back in junior high. During one game, I accidentally hit Erin, one of the players. Her friends teased her, saying I should kiss it better. I blew her a few kisses, and as we were leaving, she asked if I could buy her a drink. She said I seemed very quiet and shy. We walked to a nearby cafe and continued chatting. Erin was a great conversationalist, unlike me. Eventually, she asked if I was seeing anyone, and I admitted I wasn't sure if I ever would again. Did she die or leave you? Erin asked gently. She cheated on me, and I couldn't accept it. It's been a few years, but I guess I'm still not over it, I replied. What about you? Are you dating anyone? I asked. No one, she said, surprised. I've been on dates, but that's about it. When was your last date? I asked. I haven't been on a proper date since we separated. I've had people over for dinner, but that's it, Erin shared. When did your marriage end? I asked. 26 months ago in December, she answered. Pretty sad, isn't it? I said. Not really, I reassured her. When my ex left me for a younger man, it took me a couple of years to get the confidence to try again. The conversation made my palms sweaty. Erin noticed and suggested we change the subject. Why did you start playing pickleball? I asked. My self-pity was getting old, so I decided to try something new, Erin explained. That's how I got into it too, I said. My friends convinced me, and now I enjoy it. How about you? I shared. Yeah, I got a paddle, and playing helps me come out of my shell. Well, I have to go. See you tomorrow at 4 p.m., she said. Sure, nice talking with you, Erin, I replied. You too, Ethan. Hang in there. Things will get better, she encouraged. That evening, feeling better about myself, I finally responded to Lily. Lily, I'm willing to try. You and I will never be close again, but I'd like to at least meet my grandchild. Let me know when the time is right, but I will not be in the same room as your mother. I wrote back to Lily. From the picture, I estimated a May or June delivery date. I wasn't sure if Lily got my response since I hadn't received any reply from her. The following day at pickleball, Erin was noticeably flirtatious, and a few other women joined in the fun. It felt good to be noticed. After hitting a particularly good shot, Erin said, Ethan, that shirt looks great on you. Bet it looks even better off. The women giggled as my face turned crimson. I replied, Funny you should say that, Erin. I was thinking those yoga pants look great on you, but they might look even better off. Laughter erupted as Erin turned beet red. The ladies started chanting, Take it off, take it off. So with a grin, I took off my shirt, earning a few whistles. Erin wagged her finger at me, mouthing, You're terrible, and I blew her a kiss. After the games, the playful banter continued. Erin eventually asked if I would buy her a drink. I was just about to ask you, I said. Erin playfully remarked, Nice yoga pants, huh? Pretty proud of yourself, aren't you? As we enjoyed our drinks, I mustered the courage to ask Erin out for dinner and a movie, expecting her to say no. To my surprise, she agreed. Having been out of the dating scene for over 27 years, I felt nervous and out of place at first, but I relaxed over time and started to feel more like my old self. After several dates, Erin suggested I spend the night. One evening, Erin surprised me with a personal question. Who are you thinking of when we're together? She asked. I paused and replied, I'm grateful for you and often wonder what you see in someone like me. Our relationship deepened and we became more intimate. Erin eventually introduced me to her family and grandchildren. Initially, it was awkward due to their protectiveness, but they warmed up to me over time. In early June, Erin cuddled up to me in bed and hinted at celebrating our closeness. As the moment grew more passionate, I revealed that Lily had given birth to a girl 2 days ago. Our passions flared briefly, and we made love for an extended time. The next day, I sent flowers to Lily to celebrate her new motherhood. A day later, I received an overnight letter from her full of sincere apologies and a desire to reconnect. She spoke of understanding the lessons I tried to teach her and the changes she had undergone. She also mentioned her daughter, Laura, and the hope for us to reunite. I shared the letter with Erin, who found Lily's words heartfelt. She asked what I intended to do. I expressed my concern about the potential impact on our relationship, and Erin responded with a warm hug and a loving kiss, emphasizing that letting go of the past was crucial for our future together. With Erin's support, I knocked on Lily's door, catching her by surprise. We shared a tender hug and stepped inside her apartment. I held Laura, who didn't cry, reminding me how delicate baby hands and feet are. Erin asked about Lily's marital status, and Lily explained that Laura's father wasn't ready to commit. Throughout the evening, Lily and I kept a respectful distance. Before leaving, Erin encouraged me to express my love to Lily. I went back to her apartment, hugged her tightly, and told her I still loved her. 6 months later, we had our traditional Christmas Eve dinner at my apartment with Erin, Lily, and me holding Laura. I offered the Christmas blessing, and we enjoyed a joyful meal and exchanged gifts. Erin and I spent the night at her place, marking a new chapter in our relationship. A year later, we celebrated Christmas Eve at Erin's house, and life had moved forward. I found contentment in this new chapter of my life. Second story, I met a guy at work, and we both found each other attractive. Things started to build up between us, and we decided to date. He made me feel like I was the center of his world, taking care of me and giving me a lot of his time. All these gestures made me fall for him. I told him how I felt, but then he hesitated to move forward and revealed he was already in a committed relationship with someone else for 2 years. I felt broken and in a lot of pain. It took me days to process what happened. Even after all this, he wanted to keep seeing me and continue as if nothing had changed. I got angry and looked up his girlfriend on Instagram, telling her everything. Now the guy is hurt and says I destroyed him. He claims she meant everything to him and that I took her away from him. He says he wants to end his life without her. I don't understand if she meant so much to him. Why would he engage with me in the first place? I don't know how to feel about this. I just feel like I was played.